real life horror movie, everything in the car is hitting, it's getting thrown. It's getting thrown up into the air and away and just, or under the car.
Horrific images there. New Year's celebrations turned to tragedy and chaos in New Orleans.
At least 10 people killed and dozens more hurt when a pickup truck rammed into a crowd overnight on busy Bourbon Street. And tonight, that attack is being investigated as an act of terrorism. Good evening, I'm Jenny Runovich.
I'm Dustin Grove. Anne Marie and Felicia both have the night off. Tonight, police have identified the driver of that pickup truck as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar.
The FBI says he is a U.S. citizen from Texas, that he'd rented that pickup truck, and they found an ISIS flag on the trailer's hitch. Also, the FBI believes he did not act alone. Now, investigators just gave an update a little over an hour ago. They say around 3:15 this morning, Jabbar intentionally drove that pickup truck right into the busy French Quarter.
New Orleans police say he drove around barricades up onto the sidewalk around a police car and was trying to hit as many people as possible. They say the suspect then fired at police. He struck two of them. Officers returned fire, hitting and killing him.
Investigators are also looking into the discovery of at least one improvised explosive device at the scene. Meanwhile, as you can imagine, people who witnessed this attack are still in shock.
And there were just bodies and the screams. I mean, you can't think about, unhear that. It was chaos and very, very scary.
Investigators say the suspect was able to drive down Bourbon Street because security bollards were down for repairs.
Now, there's still a lot we don't know here. Investigators have not yet confirmed how many victims were tourists versus local residents, although it is believed most were locals. And right now, the FBI is asking the public for help.
Anybody who knows anything about that man or anyone he's interacted with in the last few days is asked to call the FBI's tip line. That number is 1-800-CALL-FBI.
You know, this attack happened just hours before Notre Dame and Georgia were set to face off in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans.
It's now postponed until tomorrow. Hundreds of Notre Dame fans made that trip, of course, from Indiana down to New Orleans for the game. Our Dominic Miranda has been down in New Orleans all week preparing for the Sugar Bowl.
Dom, obviously a very different atmosphere now. So what can you share with us about what you're seeing, what you're hearing?
Yeah, it's a unified sense of grief and sadness, disappointment and anger with the events that have unfolded in the last, 12, 24 hours, however long you want to say. It just is an unfortunate situation. Fans we spoke with today unified in that feeling and upset that it had to happen on a week that it was supposed to be filled with excitement and fun. I'm going to step out of frame here because we're right where this all transpired last night, the intersection of Bourbon Street and Canal Street. You can get a really good look of kind of the beginning of Bourbon Street, and that is where the driver, who is now deceased, rammed his car, went onto the sidewalk around barricades that were, like you mentioned, undergoing repairs around a police vehicle that was right there and down Bourbon Street. So what we do know from that press conference that wrapped up just about an hour and a half ago is there's still a lot of unknowns in this situation, right? We heard from a ton of stakeholders, special agent in charge of the FBI, mayor of New Orleans, the police chief of New Orleans, the governor of Louisiana. He said this is a time people should feel safe in this city. Be vigilant, but New Orleans is built for times like this, built to handle situations like this. The FBI believes, again, this individual did not act alone and are requesting all information related to be passed along to them immediately. Obviously, this comes in the wake of the Sugar Bowl that's going on today. We do have some updated information. ESPN is reporting right now, ESPN's Pete Thamel, that the Sugar Bowl previously was scheduled to go on 24 hours from today, that kind of postponement, so it would have been 7:45 Central Standard Time tomorrow. He is reporting that the game will be going on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. That is the update surrounding the Sugar Bowl. So that game will be played tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, that was the announcement today, postponement. Jeff Hundley of the Sugar Bowl said that is in the best interest of public safety, the best interest of everybody involved, to kind of give time to get more answers, to kind of let this fluid situation play out. We've obviously spoke with many Notre Dame fans, many college football fans, many New Orleans residents who are very upset and grieving after this situation. Mass was held at Notre Dame's Fan Hotel here in New Orleans this morning. It was previously scheduled, but it added meaning here today, an uplifting, faith restored. Everyone's looking for leadership in these types of situations, and we spoke with a couple fans who are trying to find the optimism and what we can take forward in wake of a tragedy like this.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see just the like the faith and the community aspect of something like everyone together, like coming together after this tragedy and being able to spend time together with our Lord and just being able to come together as a community.
Messages come in different ways. I don't know what this is going to teach us, but it's definitely going to bring us together.
I can't stress enough this area you're seeing right now, Canal Street, bustling with people the past 2 days. Excitement, fun, music, everything that New Orleans is, this place has it. Streetcars going back and forth, what New Orleans is known for. Obviously right now an active crime scene, and it will remain that way until there's more information and Bourbon Street can open back up. But you know, people we talk to, the shock factor is really what struck me, the disbelief and the sadness. People are coming together. We've seen that transition throughout the day of all those negative feelings to a feeling of coming together, getting through this together, picking up the pieces and moving forward. We see a lot of times how sports can aid with that. We certainly hope that is the case with the Sugar Bowl tomorrow. Again, ESPN reporting that game will go on at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. If there are any more updates, we of course will bring that through throughout the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hours here on Channel 13.
And Dom, you know, this is such a tourist city, and this is where people gather. I was really struck by what we were seeing earlier when you were reporting, and it seems like those tourists are still gathering to be together, if only to perhaps look at the scene and mourn together. Are you still seeing that this evening?
I mean, there are Notre Dame and Georgia fans alike, New Orleans residents lining the streets right now. Everybody who passes by has their phone out and their mouths are open. I mean, the disbelief of this situation, the fact that it was New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, the fact that the Sugar Bowl was just hours away here in the Big Easy, the fact that people came here with a sense of joy and excitement. One of the best cities this nation has to offer, one of the best host cities for an event like this. We told those stories just yesterday, marred by a senseless tragedy, a heinous act, and people are going to have to live with this, especially those who are loved ones of those victims. It's really tough to process, and I think we're seeing that with some fans and a lot of people who are just staying here, just kind of looking at the scene, all the media that is here, the crime scene here, the police officers at work. It's a lot to process, you guys.
Yeah, and yet the resolve of the leaders in that community and the state and the people there in New Orleans is remarkable. Dom, thank you. We'll check back in with you coming up at 5:30.
Yes.
And tonight we are also hearing from the University of Notre Dame. It says it's now working with law enforcement and others in the wake of this deadly attack. Notre Dame's president also releasing a statement today. Reverend Robert Dowd saying the university's prayers are with everyone affected and, quote, to be in solidarity with those who suffer is to exemplify the spirit of Notre Dame. Today, we are in solidarity with all those impacted by this tragedy.
As the investigation continues in New Orleans, back here at home, Hoosiers are reacting to this devastating news.
Of course, this is the first day of the new year, really a major day for college football in New Orleans. Our Samantha Johnson stopped by a sports bar here in Indy to talk with fans. Sam?
Well, guys, I can tell you Tom's Watch Bar opened downtown just last month, and people were in and out all day today watching the quarterfinals of the first ever 12-team college football playoff, of course, with the Fighting Irish well on their way. But fans today tell me this is about much more than football.
New Year's Day is football. It always has been. I just wish Tennessee was playing today.
But Lynn Farmer says this New Year's Day is different.
I mean, you know, it's crazy. Honestly, don't know what to think.
College football fans now waiting one more day to watch Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, with the developments in New Orleans a much bigger priority.
Hopefully Notre Dame can get back safe, enjoy a great game, and all their fans can come back safe and sound. you know, it's obviously a challenging environment with a lot of things going on in the world. Our goal here is to create an environment for you to kind of step away, take a break.
Tomorrow we'll resume work again and go back to the grind, but for now we're going to watch some games, enjoy ourselves, and hope the rest of you do the same.
You can tell so many of those fans are trying to stay positive and,
Yeah.
like Dom's been saying, kind of hold each other up through all of this too. Today, we heard from Hoosiers who are in New Orleans. They are on the ground there. Of course, they went to watch the game that was supposed to be tonight. You'll hear from them still ahead tonight at 6.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Sam, thank you.
And we've been monitoring the situation in New Orleans all day, and we'll undoubtedly be learning more details about this tragic attack in the coming hours because there are still a lot of questions. You can always find the latest updates just as soon as we get them online at WTHR.com.
As expected, a colder day for central Indiana. Temperatures right now in the upper 20s and low 30s. It's been windy too. That brings wind chills down into the teens and 20s. If you're going to be out and about this evening, be prepared for those strong winds. And under some of these thicker clouds that you see over Morris Reservoir, we've had a few flurries from time to time. These are tracking from northwest to southeast. We'll continue to keep an eye on radar. No accumulations expected this evening, but it is going to be cold under a mainly cloudy sky. A few flurries and temperatures in the upper 20s.
And we are continuing to track new developments in the big story today, that terror attack in New Orleans.
We'll tell you what we're learning from investigators down in Louisiana coming up.
Plus, January 1st is National Hangover Day. For a lot of people, the morning after seems to get worse the older we get.
So our Verified team is looking at the reasons why and how to avoid the worst of the symptoms. We'll be right back.